You know, the last couple of weeks, the ramp out at Paradise Point has been a very lonely place with the weather fronts moving in and out, rain, wind, just, you know, general chaotic weather conditions. There have been a few reports coming in. It's not great, but you know what? We're going to do the report this week. I'm out here right now. It's a beautiful day. River conditions are not all that great. We'll get into that in the report. So let's sit down and get the camera set up and we'll go over what's going on, not only here on the Delta, but over on Clear Lake, Don Pedro, and I've got a little river news for you. So let's get to it. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is the January 8th edition of the In Deep on the Delta Weekly Fishing Report. And I'm sure most of you can almost guess what the report is. It's been pretty tough out here on the Delta, and for that matter, it's been tough pretty much everywhere in Central California with the storm fronts moving in and out. But we'll get you caught up on everything you need to know. So let's get right into it. First of all, I want to thank everyone who was out at the Bass Hole Tackle Shop last Saturday, January 3rd for the New Year's sale. I want to especially thank all you folks that came by and took the time to say hi. It was great for me to put a face to the name of a lot of you anglers out there who have been sending in the reports and sending in comments. So I want to thank everybody for taking that time and giving me the opportunity to meet you guys. Moving on, it's a new year. A lot of us need to renew our license. If you haven't renewed your fishing license, remember, starting last year, the date of purchase that you buy your license is the date of purchase that you have to renew your license. It used to be no matter when you bought your license, if you bought it in the middle of the year, it was only going to be good until January 1st. So if you bought your license at January 1st last year, it's time to renew it. If you bought your license last year, July 14th, then it won't be due until July 14th. So it's time of purchase to time of purchase. But remember, it is the new year and most of us get our license, you know, that first week of January. So if you go out fishing, make sure you have an up-to-date license. The ISE show coming up in Sacramento, that's going to be January 18th through 21st, and it looks like I will be at the Fisherman's Warehouse booth. I haven't confirmed that yet, but it looks like I'm going to be there. So you guys that are heading up to the show, stop by the Fisherman's Warehouse, and I should be around there, and we'll get to meet and talk a little bit. Also, we've got the Delta Saints 6th Annual Game Feed coming up Monday, January 6th. That's at Hussick's Restaurant. That's in Clarksburg. I want to give you Brad Soto's contact information because that's coming up this week. I'm going to be out there with a lot of friends. If you need information, call Brad at 916-825-4585. I hope to see you guys out there Monday, January 6th. Also, the San Joaquin Bassmasters Youth Fishing Club is having their annual spaghetti dinner, their fundraiser and raffle. That's going to be Friday the 23rd. We'll keep you up to date on that, and I'll give you information in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be the 23rd. We've got the Bass Hole team schedules out now, the 2026 Bass Hole team tournament schedule. If you're thinking about getting involved in that, make sure you give Rob a call and get all the information you need on that. And remember, Rob has a swap meet every year. This year they have it set up for, I've got the date written down here, I just got it, March 1st. So be aware that the swap meet out at the Bass Hole is going to be March 1st. There will be flyers coming out, and at that point you can call Rob out at the Bass Hole Tackle Shop and get yourself a table if you want to be involved in selling at the swap meet. What's going on around the system here? Clear Lake report. I talked to Dave out at Clear Lake Outdoors. You know, it's weather dependent, as you guys might imagine. Everything is revolving around the fronts coming in. The crappie fishing has remained good to very good. The largemouth bass fishing, it just depends on the day that you're up there. It's been inconsistent. There are some big fish coming in. I know I was set to go up this week with Christian. Christian, on his first day of practice, he's practicing for the one bass tournament. I think he had 34 pounds. He was pretty jacked up, and that was the day he called, said, you got to get up there. And I got a call the next day, and the bottom had really dropped out. It just come to a grind. We kind of discussed me going up there, and you know, with the way the weather pattern was, it's supposed to drop close to an inch of rain on Monday when I was going to go up there. And he said, you know, just hold off of it. I'll hold off on that trip, and just wasn't worth making the trip from out of town all the way up there to maybe fish one day. Just too inconsistent. And that's going to be kind of the story of, you know, not only Clear Lake, but the Delta and Don Pedro, wherever you are. You know, my suggestion is going to probably be to stay close to home, close to your home water. If you get a day to go out fishing, you know, get out there and do what you can do. But none of the lakes that I've got reports on have been worth, you know, making a long run for. All right. If you are going to be up at Clear Lake, it looks like the pattern has been chasing shad, A-rigs, deep diving crankbaits, jerk baits, you know, wake baits, something that is going to be moving through the water and is going to represent a shad is what you're going to want to be using. And remember, the One Bass Pro-Am is coming up. It's starting today, January 8th through the 10th. They're expecting about 80 to 100 boats. And I asked Dave what he predicted the winning weight was going to be. And it's going to be a 3-day tournament. He says 90 pounds. It's going to take 30-pound bag, three 30-pound bags backed up day after day after day to win this tournament. Even though the fishing is inconsistent, there's some really good sticks up there, and somebody's going to find those fish, and it's going to take about 90 pounds to win that tournament. We'll see if that prediction holds true. I also talked to Central Valley Bait and Tackle. Aaron, you know, he didn't have a whole lot of optimism about Don Pedro. They are catching some fish down there, but it's pretty inconsistent. They have been letting a lot of water out of the lake, but there's a lot of water coming into the lake, and the lake has risen about 10 feet in the last, I'll say, week or 10 days. Now, he did say that, you know, the people that are going up there are catching a few fish. It's not on fire. It's just junk fishing. It's, again, A-rigs, jerk baits. He said that jigs are also fishing, you know, pulling fish, just junk fishing. And again, I asked him, you know, would it be your suggestion if somebody is coming from out of the area to head up to Don Pedro right now? And he said, you know, I clear conscience, he couldn't say come on up and fish it. If you are a local, that's your body of water, you get a chance to fish, go up there. But really, it's not really worth taking the drive up there just yet. So that is Don Pedro. Let's talk about the Delta. I'm out here right now. I'm going to be fishing probably Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, and get you a better idea of what's going on out here. I can tell you that we have about 57-degree water temp. Right here at Paradise Point, it's actually, I can call it pretty much chocolate. I've got about 6 inches of visibility out here. I've got reports down south that same, it's kind of a chocolate. I was out here about 4 or 5 days ago, and we had about 2 feet of visibility. So in the last couple of days, it's really clouded up. The water temperature has risen a little bit, but it's pretty darn cloudy out here. You're not missing a whole lot. The tides have, you know, low tide is high tide now. High tide is higher tide. There is no low tide. We've got a lot of water coming into the system, so if you come out here, there really is no incoming tide. You want to plan your day around fishing the outgo tide, the high outgo tide. And, you know, that's going to give you a good chance to really get up close, because what is usually 1 to 2 feet of water at high tide is probably 3 to 4 to 5 feet of water at high tide. We got a lot of water in the system right now, and if we get some more rain, you know, that's probably going to stay that way for the next week or two. That being said, it has been tough out here. I have not gotten any good reports as far as largemouth bass go. The tides for next week are really crappy, very low efficient coefficients. There's not going to be a lot of tides. We're just going to have water that stays high. If you like that, you know, good for you, but really we need some water movement out here. We need to get this cleaned out a little bit. and we need to have better tidal coefficients, I think, before the fishing starts to perk up. What am I going to do if I come out here, or when I'm out here? I'm probably going to be throwing a lot of bladed jigs, spinner baits, and trying to move around just to look for some fish. I'm not going to be slowing down a whole lot with the color of the water here and trying to, you know, pick one fish here, pick one fish there. I'm going to be moving around, hoping that I can find a few fish that are looking for something that's vibrating down there, and we'll chase it down and eat it. So with that said, striper fishing, not a lot of reports, but I can say that I talked to one of the guys at the ramp that came in today, and there's only 3 boats in the parking lot. 3 guys in the boat, and they came up with limits. They were drifting live bluegill, and I think they were fishing real local here at Paradise Point. I also have word that the pumps around, let's just say, Bacon Island are producing some small fish. Most of them just under keeper size to just over keeper size, that 18, you know, 16 to 20 inch size. So there are some fish out here. But is it worth coming out? Man, if you're local and we get good weather, yeah. But coming from out of town, I wouldn't say it's worth coming out here to fish for stripers. And again, the largemouth bass, just not a lot of reports. The people that are going out just, you know, are not catching fish. So it's been super tough. That's the report. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure that if you do get out this week, we're going to get some better weather, so I suspect there's going to be some guys out here fishing. Let me know what you do, whether you catch a bunch of fish or you catch no fish. Let me know what's going on, what you find out here, what works, what doesn't work, and we'll try to work through this winter fishery as the best we can. I will be dropping a video on jig fishing hopefully in the next week. I hope you guys take the time to watch that. I think it's going to be a good one. And with that, thanks for watching. Talk next week and see if we can't get a better report. Good luck.